reasons to smile through the course this year, none more so than when this man Michael van der Mark was able to pick up a wet weather victory in Portimao, and certainly for van der Mark that was the highlight of this season. It has been a big challenge for him after switching from the Yamaha squad last year.
Certainly secondary to the Riders World Championship fight, the manufacturers standings. Yamaha 574 points, Ducati 558 points, Kawasaki 520 points. It does go to show what a brilliant and close fought championship we've had this season.
Yeah, the manufacturers championship goes all the way down to the last race of the season, although in all likelihood it is just down to Yamaha versus Ducati, but we've seen all three manufacturers very closely matched through the course of this season. Bit of misfortune for all of the different riders and those manufacturers through the course of this year, but on the balance of things, the way the championships have played out with Toprak, Jonathan Rea and Scott Redding as the top three riders, and the manufacturers championship as well, it has been about right for what we've seen through the course of this season.
Yes, Kawasaki lost ground mainly as a result, to be honest, of Alex Lowe's being injured, and then when Jonathan Rea had incidents, there was no one there to sort of pick up the pieces, and Kawasaki's run of consecutive scoring that date back years went out the window, and to lose major points, they're difficult to make up in the manufacturers championship because it's only the best scoring rider from each team that counts towards that manufacturers title, unlike the teams award where it is the top two performing riders from each team that score in that contest. But the World Championships, the Riders World Championship and the Manufacturers World Championship are coming down to this final round, and at the moment the water is coming up to your ankles.
Yeah, and that gives you the perfect illustration of just how much standing water there is. That's probably on the outside of maybe the last corner, because there is a few marshals out there just wandering around, but as it is right now, it's definitely a little bit of time to get yourself cooled off at this stage for some of the super sport riders.
Well, every reason to enjoy himself, Mr. Dominic Egerton, the 2021 world champion, and why bother going back to the hotel? You're probably not going to be able to get back there anyway in these conditions when you can just stand in the middle of the pit lane and have a wash there.
Yeah, and Domi's been in good form all the way through this season, and nice and relaxed this weekend. He's just after finishing on the podium in the super sport race. There were spots of rain for that, but nothing like what we have now. You can see for Toprak, when he made his way to the grid, he was already making his way off of it pretty quick.
Yes, Emperor Penguin style, almost rushing away, and as I said previously, a little bit of acrobatics to scale the pit wall as well. But this looks to me like a mere formality. I cannot see how the track will be in conditions to be able to race this afternoon at all. These, of course, are replay images. We've long since vacated the grid. Umbrellas wouldn't even withstand it. The palm trees could barely withstand the wind, let alone the rain, and it is still coming down very heavily, and all that's happening is that the water's getting deeper and deeper. And I joked about an Olympic depth swimming pool, but we're getting closer and closer. You saw just from the marshal there, the water up to his ankles.
Yeah, and it is just keeping to come down at the same degree as well. You can see from these shots just how wet it is out there, and we saw when the safety car was doing its lap just how little visibility there was, especially in that run down towards turn 10, so no real chance of any change in the next while, but certainly for the superbike riders, they're going to just have to come together. They could well be able to talk as the safety commission. Traditionally we see three riders from the safety commission come together and make a decision about what to do. We saw that, if you think back to Laus's Ring in 2016, we had similar conditions to this. Obviously Sepang, we've had similar situations as well.
Well, I know who might be the only rider who wants to make sure that something happens this afternoon, and that'll be Jonathan Rea, because if the Superpole race is cancelled, he's going to lose potentially 12 points there.
Well, I remember at Assen when we had the snowstorm a few years ago in 2019, Johnny was one of the few riders that was out there saying, oh, we should be able to race in these conditions. Even with the snow, he knew it was a chance to make up points in Alvaro Bautista that year. He wanted to go out and race, and obviously in conditions like this, he's the rider with most to lose. If he misses out on a scoring opportunity this weekend, it could be curtains for his championship.
Let's be honest, if the race had already got started before that rain came down, it would have practically immediately been red flagged, because people would have been going off left, right and centre. There's no way that you could have possibly continued on in this situation. I think it's, as I said, a bit of a formality at the moment that presumably is being discussed behind the scenes at the highest level, but I can't see anything other than a postponement of this race, and potentially, and I do venture into the realms of conjecture now, but potentially we could be looking at two feature races tomorrow, which narrows the window to make up a points margin.
Yeah, in Qatar in 2018 when we saw Superbike races cancelled, and that was due to pretty sudden downpour in the middle of the desert, and obviously enough we had standing water all the way around. We had a lot of flooding around the track in that day, and conditions were on the limit, but here today it's pretty clear when we saw the image of that marshal walking through the puddles just how deep that standing water is, and you can see here from these shots the rain's still coming down unabated.
And the reason that I say most likely we're heading towards the territory of two feature length races is that we've been in this situation of postponing race one before, just as recently as the Spanish round during the triple header, where race one had to be moved from day one, as it were, race day one, the Saturday, then took place on the Sunday morning, and race two raced in the afternoon. Now I'm quite quite sure that if we were in that circumstance, some of the teams would be lobbying for all 3 races to be run tomorrow. But the schedule is intensely tightly packed.
Yeah, and I think that's where decisions would have to be made, and definitely well above our pay grade. But everyone wants to see 3 races this weekend. The championship battle we've had all the way through this season has been tremendous. You can see for doesn't stop us from offering some conjecture, though, does it? It might be above our pay grade, but it won't stop us from passing comments as Toprak Razgatlioglu gives a little bit of an extra dousing to Jules Cluzel. Well, I said previously I wanted to know where Cluzel had managed to get to. The number 16 tattoo on his back gives it away, if nothing else. And he and Dominic Egerton before him already claps of thunder now. I think I could hear there, either that or something similar. But yeah, all going on at the moment out there, and I just cannot see how we could possibly be racing in this.